Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw for Insider Travel Report, and I'm here with Liz Coleman, who is the Vice President of Sales for Paul Gauguin Cruises. And I've been lucky enough to go on a Paul Gauguin. It's an incredible ship, a wonderful place, and this is the way to see the islands of Tahiti. And we're going to talk to Liz about Paul Gauguin Cruises today, get an update on what's going on, and we're going to find out a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Liz, first of all, it's great to see you here. Now, obviously, you've been on Paul Gauguin Cruises. You've been on the Gauguin, as we call it,
Yes.
That's we have to call it the Gauguin. I always get used to that. But talk a little bit about Paul Gauguin Cruises, its history, and kind of what cruises it offers. And right now, it's owned now by Ponant, which is your sister company. But give us a little history of Paul Gauguin Cruises.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. This is really exciting to be here and talk about what I think is one of the most magical parts of the world. The Paul Gauguin was built in 1997, and we set sail in 1998. So actually, next year we're going to be celebrating 25 years.
Wow, how it creeps up on you, right?
I know, absolutely. But what's unique about it is that this ship was actually built to sail these idyllic waters. It was built with a very shallow hull, so we can get up close and personable with the islands. And I think that being on a cruise ship in a small vessel allows you to take in the destination in a different way than if you were on land.
No, absolutely, and I've done it. It's a great way to see the initial islands, the Society Islands, but as we're going to talk about, you do a whole lot more than that. Let's talk about that ship. How many guests can it hold, and kind of what's in it?
The ship sleeps 330 guests. We have 165 staterooms, and almost 70% are balconies. No inside staterooms. Every room is a room with a view.
There's always a view. Believe me, there's always a view. You can see in that. You can see when you're in Bora Bora. There's incredible view. Moorea. Everywhere is a view and you got to be out there. You're in the lagoon in Bora Bora. There's really not many better places than that. Now, when was it last renovated, the ship? Because it dates from the 90s, basically. But you've actually done some work to it recently. Right?
Absolutely, and that's one of the things. I mean, admittedly, it's an older vessel, but it's impeccably well taken care of. We did a full renovation head to toe last year, actually, when
during COVID.
Yeah, absolutely. What better time to do that? So we did all the soft goods, all the common areas, and it is just so elegantly designed. And being that we're with Ponant now, I mean, their taste in that
very, very French and very good, right?
But very casual. It's a casual
elegance. It's a casual look.
And you know what? And you need that because the backdrop is casual as well. So last year we went into dry dock to do all of that, and then the beginning of 2023 we'll actually go back into dry dock but more for a technical inspection.
Got it. So the ship is pretty much brand new. It's been cared for impeccably. Now, what are the different categories of suites and cabins that you have on board?
Yes. So we have a number of different categories. If you like to be taken care of really well.
Which I do, actually, so that's okay. You don't have to stumble over that. I do want to be taken care of really well. What am I going to get?
Category B and above automatically comes with butler service. So those are all of our suites, and those start at a minimum footprint of 250 square feet, right. And then the veranda is at least 350 square feet. We've got 2 owner suite at the top of the food chain, if I can say that.
Absolutely.
two grand suites, which have a wraparound veranda of 197 square feet, and they're just really comfortable, and they're casual but elegant at the same time. All the other staterooms are C's and D's, which are a 200 square foot footprint, and then the balcony is 37 square feet. Mm-hmm. Now, while I recommend a balcony for sure, if you can't quite make it up there, we do have a handful of windows, which are still 200 square feet. And then we do have a couple portholes, which are the same window box, but replaced with 2 portholes. So you still have a view.
You still have a view, and you know what? You can always go up on deck. There's plenty of deck space on board. I know for a fact. I've been there, and you can just go sunning up there and have this incredible view of all these amazing islands. And you're really close. You're going really pretty close. There's a couple of cruises where you go a little farther, but you're always going to see incredible view. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, it has a French. You're owned by a French cruise line. It always was French because that's what French Polynesia is. Yeah. what are the dining options on board now?
We have a handful of different dining options that include different kind of culinary tastes. We have 3. The main dining venue is called L'Etoile, and it's just open for dinner. It's more of like an intercontinental type cuisine, and the menu changes daily. Now, it's funny, as I go through the dinner options or dining options, I'm like, oh, this one's my favorite because they're all so yummy in their own right. We also have La Veranda, which is more of like a French bistro. Amazing. You can sit inside or outside during breakfast or breakfast or lunch, and it's buffet style, or you can order off a menu as well. And then the last dining option is called the Grill, which I love because it's al fresco.
Yeah, and up on deck and outside. Yeah.
Absolutely. And in the evening, it's more of like what I would consider sort of an Asian fusion, French Polynesian, fresh fish, fresh seafood. In the evening, weather permitting, we'll bring the tables and the chairs outside and eat literally under the stars in the moonlight, and it's amazing.
So during the day, you can eat, you can go on deck, sun yourself, and actually go on lots of excursions off the ship. I know I did a number. Some of my favorite excursions were off the ship. I actually went water skiing once.
Yes.
Like that was pretty amazing. But at night, you do have some entertainment. Talk a little bit about what you have on board.
Absolutely. So, we're in a destination that's so rich in culture. So why not bring the culture on board? And actually, it is on board because we have Polynesian hosts called Les Gauguin and Les Gauguin who perform nightly. We also have a cruise show, which I think is not to be missed. And then during the day, we bring on different singing and dancing troupes. Like, for example, the children from Huahine will come on, and they're just amazing. What I always tell people about the entertainment, and I consider entertainment not only like singing and dancing and performing and that nature, but it's also the lecture program. Right. But what I always tell people is that, it's not big Broadway shows. It's not like New York nightclubs, although we do have an area on the ship called La Palette where we do karaoke and you can dance and sing and things like that.
Too bad.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I always like to set the expectation about what it is, but it is all encompassing around a lecture program and then certainly the entertainment in the evening as well.
No, and it's great. I still remember Les Gauguin.
Les Gauguin, yes, absolutely.
Which is like the dancing troupe up there, and it's amazing. They come out and you see, obviously Polynesian dancers, and it's really a wonderful thing to do. And you're in islands of Tahiti. It's what you should do. So
what can be better than that, right?
It's wonderful. And after a full day, you're pretty tired anyway. You're going around the islands. You're water skiing. You're doing whatever. It is amazing. Now, what would you say is your most popular itinerary? You go a lot of 7-day, and I think I've done it a few times. But what is the most popular itinerary for the Gauguin?
So I would say the most popular for at least the North American market is the 7-night sailing, where you start and end in Tahiti. We sail to Huahine. We spend a day in Taha, which is the Vanilla Island, 2 days in Bora Bora, 2 days in Moorea, and then back. In 2024, we'll actually add another island called Raiatea.
I know that well. Yeah.
So, but what's interesting about booking patterns or the bookings in general is that people are starting to enjoy longer sailings. And I think what's happening...
That's what I want to talk about, because you got some nice longer sailings to a little more exotic places, right?
Absolutely. And our trademark itineraries are the Society Islands, which I just described. And then we move further out to the Tuamotus, which are the low-lying atolls. It's really rich in water, marine life. It's all about the water there. The 11-night sailing, which is to the Cook Islands, which is not...
That's a ways. That's far. Yeah.
It is far. You get a little sea time there and back. That's not part of French Polynesia. I think sometimes people think Cook Islands is a part of French Polynesia, but it's off the coast of New Zealand, where we visit Aitutaki and Rarotonga. I did that a number of years ago. Pinch me moment. It was amazing. And then our 14-night sailing is out to the Marquesas.
Yeah, I was waiting for that, because the Marquesas, I've actually never been in the Marquesas. I've always wanted to go, but they are a very different kind of island group, right?
Yes. And that's what's unique about all these different itineraries. They're very diverse. The Society Islands is more volcanic, not erupting. The Tuamotus, which is water, and then the Marquesas is all about the land and the people, and it's very wild, very kind of like sauvage is kind of the way I look at it.
Well, and also I think you still do Fiji, right?
Yes, we do that one time there and back every year. So this year we'll do it beginning of 2023, and then we'll repeat it in 2024. But when we go to Fiji, we're actually going to continue on and go to Bali as we head into dry dock for that technical inspection.
That's not too shabby a cruise, going from French Polynesia to Fiji to Bali. Yep. Sign me up for that one. That'd be great.
I know. Can I do that as a fam? I mean,
careful. We're going to have a lot of travel advisors who are going to call you and say, when are you doing that, fam?
I know. I know.
Now, one of the things you talked a little bit about what's new for 2023 and 24, but tell us a little more about how you're doing some of the revisions of the itineraries for 23 and 24.
Yeah, so it goes back to people love the destination and they want to come back, but they want a little bit more of one over the other. Right. So so for the 7-night sailing, we added Raiatea. We've been there before, but haven't done that in a number of years. That's rich in the outdoor Polynesian temples called maraes. And then the other one that you were referring to is the Marquesas. So we've got lots of Marquesas where, to me, this is like untapped territory. This is an untapped opportunity, and now we can tap into the opportunity to learn more about all these different islands. This is where Paul Gauguin's resting place is, after all. I'm not sure if everybody know that.
I knew that. I mean, I know the history of Paul Gauguin. He is buried out there. I didn't realize it was the Marquesas.
Yes, absolutely. And what I love, I did the Marquesas earlier this spring, came off in April. And, seeing is believing. I loved the culture. I loved the landscape. I loved their traditions, their lores. And the one thing that I learned about this area is that it's like a fully sustainable area and very protected from the rest of the world, which to me is very impressive as technology and all these other outside influences really change the makeup and the landscape of a particular area. And I think protecting the places where we go is really important.
Absolutely. Where all of the sustainable tourism is really the forefront now, what we're doing. Now, I don't think I had this question for you, but not to throw a curve at you, but what do you do during a typical day? I know, you stop, you have your own motus, which are the little islands around the big island, and you often have your own private motus. I remember that very well, and they're amazing. So what exactly do guests do during the day when you've docked in that island area? Let's say you're in the lagoon in Bora Bora.
So to me, this is a fully customizable experience. So you can sit back, relax, watch the world go by, visit the motus as you're describing. We have a couple different private retreats where one is a full beach barbecue day off, it's called our Motu Mahana, it's off Taha. The other one is off Bora Bora. So we bring some of the water toys, the kayaks, the paddle boards, and you just have at it. I mean, you come and go as you please, so it's pretty special. Other people might want to take a shore excursion. You have an opportunity to take something in the morning, something in the afternoon, whether it's swimming with the stingrays or the black-tip sharks, or maybe,
Once I swam with the sharks. That was
and
interesting.
You lived to tell about
I did. It wasn't they were really not too bad. They weren't interested in me at all, so it was good. But yeah, you can do all those kind of things. And one of my favorites, I remember going on a sort of a 4x4 excursion up into the mountains in Bora Bora, which was an amazing experience.
Yeah, so a lot of this is either water-based or land-based. You pick and choose how active you want. The 4x4s I love because you get really a good idea of what the landscape is, great photo opportunities, and on some of the shore excursions, because they are all led by locals, they'll jump out of the 4x4 and then start serving fresh fruit and things that are indicative.
You get to eat the fresh little bananas. They have the tiny little bananas, but they're good. And then they have all this other fresh fruit. They just pick it off the plant, and there you are. You have a little feast.
Well, not only that, but they show you what some of these things are used for as well. So you're learning about how they, for medicinal purposes, how they use some of these things as well.
Yeah, no, we did that. We could just it's like going to the drugstore, but a lot nicer, believe me.
And a lot less expensive.
A lot less expensive. Well, there we go with that. But now, for travel advisors out there, what kind of training and education do you have so they can learn more about Paul Gauguin Cruises?
So certainly you can visit our website at pgcruises.com. We have an online certification program called our Pearls program, where you not only learn, of course, about the ship, but the destination that we visit. And I think the other element is, your local support. When I say local, we have a number of directors of sales in each respective territory. Okay. Reach out to them, strategize with them, talk about how to make this destination come alive for them. Because honestly, I think that, it's about changing the dialogue. When you talk about wanting to market French Polynesia, it's about asking questions about what's most important to your clients to figure out, how do we get you there? What resonates with them? And I would say that, when we travel, there are a couple things that people are looking for, whether it's sun and sand, whether it's intellectual stimulation, whether it's cultural immersion. That's typically a lot of what people are looking for. And it's about helping them understand what this destination and how it can tick off all those boxes as well.
No, absolutely. Although on its face, almost everybody wants to go to Tahiti and sail around the islands. It's not a, it should, you have a hard job. You're selling paradise. I mean, that's a hard job. I don't know, how do you do it? How do you do that every day?
Someone has to do it.
Absolutely. Now, is there anything else you want to tell our travel advisors out there about the Gauguin, about Paul Gauguin Cruises?
Well, thank you for that question, because I think this is a place in the world that people are really wanting to figure out how to market and do it well. We're here to support you, to help this destination and this experience come alive. And whatever we can do to help you be successful is really why we're here. So we just want to say thank you to all of our travel partners, and we look forward to working with you.
Absolutely. Well, it is a marvelous experience, and you can take it from me. I have done it. It is an amazing way to see the islands of Tahiti, and there's a lot more to Tahiti. There's the Marquesas I haven't done, and you got to get me on that fam that goes to Fiji and then Bali. I wouldn't mind that one.
Gosh,
that's good.
You and me both.
I know. Let's figure that one out. Okay. So now once again, just tell them where they can go to get that information. The website again.
Okay, it's pgcruises.com. Pretty simple. Okay. And scroll to the bottom of any page, and you can visit the Travel Advisor Center, where you will find your local director of sales contacts as well.
Fantastic. Well, Liz, thank you for taking the time to fill us in on one of my favorite cruises. Really, the Gauguin, as they call it, was really, I've done it twice, and it is really amazing. It is, the islands are superb. I got to be a little bit of a Tahiti specialist over the years, and it's not a bad thing to do. Again, thank you so much. And you and I are going to go on that cruise, right?
Let's go.
Absolutely. I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.